Well, it looks like Xbox has now added to the confusion that looms over the Xbox brand in general. And this is all with higher-ups finally speaking up. But let's break that all down. Up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. I think it goes without saying Xbox has done more bad than good, and that's all within this console generation. Now, I do believe some of those problems still link back to the dreaded Xbox One days, and Xbox themselves even owned up to this. And that's all of the shortcomings they've had over the past few years, and they said that was a huge hit to the company. Ever since, there has been a series of ups and downs, and X's and S's. You see what I did there? And on the outside looking in, things look far from stable. I only say this as a massive fan of Xbox and their games. The messaging they've put out over recent years has been patchy at best, and oftentimes it's more confusing than anything. One of their biggest blunders as of late has been this whole multi-platform strategy, with a lack of a clear, decisive path forward. At times, they vaguely float out press releases here and there, and that's all around certain games. And fans are often left wondering if the next big game will be that of the exclusive variety or a multi-platform one. And even as recent as last week, we talked a bit more about how Xbox might be revisiting their plans forward with this multi-platform strategy. And this is all allegedly happening post PS5 launch of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, I do want to clarify some things in that front. That was a rumor. That wasn't confirmed by anybody, it was just a rumor. Now, the cliff notes there if you did happen to miss that story. Xbox seen the negative reception around the information getting out that this game will be coming to the PS5. And apparently they drew red lines around games like Halo and Gears of War, rendering them untouchable for this multi-platform strategy. And that's where I thought the story would be left off. And that's for a long while, seeing how the game is yet to come out, and Xbox would remain quiet on that front. But since that rumor got out, Satya Nadella has come out once again to talk about this strategy in the public eye. And I won't bore you with the corporate talk here, but long story short, he does talk about the Activision Blizzard merger, company revenue, and all the bells and whistles. But the last part of his statement that is generating some buzz elaborates on how they brought 4 fan-favorite titles to the Switch and PlayStation platforms. And again, that's the thing a lot of people are focused on. Now, some might read into this even more and view this as Xbox's older titles that could be ported over to other platforms in the near future. And quite honestly, I do still think that's on the table, despite recent talks. Games like Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush prove there's money to be made here. But when we have conversations just like this, titles like Halo, Gears of War, and Starfield all come into the fold once more. We've seen this exact argument play out nearly the same way over the past few months. This is where people tend to overreact when it comes to games like Fable, Halo, and Gears of War, which, at this point in time, the best thing I would recommend moving forward, don't take my word, don't take these words or anything you hear in headlines, wait for the official word from Xbox themselves. But this harps on the whole point of this video today. Xbox's communication with fans is just plain terrible. But let's revisit what Satya Nadella had to say because he expanded a little more. Quote, "Growth of our gaming business is determined by the overall active user base through Xbox-enabled content. Availability of games, providing exclusive game content that gamers seek, the computational power and reliability of those devices used to access our content and services, and the ability to create new experiences." He continued, "We've seen new devices from third-party manufacturers along with key PC and mobile endpoints that help us empower gamers to play in the way that is most convenient to them. We are focused on growing the platform and expanding to new ecosystems to engage as many gamers as possible." Now, I don't think a lie was told there. That's how games grow, and that's how they make money. But he did happen to mention exclusive content in that statement as well, which I do think confirms exclusive content to just the Xbox platform. But that brings up another problem. What are the games that are going to be exclusive to the Xbox platform? Call of Duty along with Minecraft will indeed be multi-platform, and I do think there's other legacy titles thrown in the mix. I'm more interested in the big titles coming from Bethesda, and even Halo. Long story short here today, to avoid running in circles, Xbox clearly keeps the speculation open rather than stomping out the flames. I do think in the near future, Xbox should just come out and say the next Halo, Gears of War E-Day, Fable, Elder Scrolls, whatever game, that's going to be exclusive, that's not going to change because of X, Y, and Z. Be clear, take that stand and tell your fans what to expect. And in doing so, you can avoid problems just like this in the future. Might I add, this is a future that could prove very valuable to the company. And this is all if it's executed right in the long term, but we know how that goes. But Xbox has a handheld console allegedly in the works. The next big Gears of War game, another Halo, Fable, Elder Scrolls, those are all big games in the pipeline. And I don't think that's talked about enough with Xbox. Mainly how big this future is for them. But at the end of the day, it's days like this that cast doubt in their mind, especially when talking about a fan perspective. You really don't know what's coming next, and you don't know what's gonna change. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass this off to you guys. If you had to be in charge of all this, how would you handle exclusivity moving forward? But that about does it here. I've been K-Lo, I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content, drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.